In the history of modern science, few figures are as remarkable as Nikola Tesla, a genius who achieved great glory through his extraordinary intellect, yet was also destroyed by his own daring ideas. Tesla's life resembled a movie, a story of a young man who left his homeland, devoted himself to pursuing ideas far ahead of his time, and worked tirelessly without concern for fame or fortune. However, his brilliance was often exploited, and he was labeled a madman and an eccentric. In the end, he passed away in poverty, solitude, and obscurity. Though his final years were filled with loneliness and silence, Nikola Tesla left humanity an immense legacy of scientific achievement. In today's article, let's join past talks to explore the remarkable aspects of Nikola Tesla's life and career, the eccentric genius once known as the mad scientist, with inventions far beyond his era. Intro: The Forgotten Genius. In the history of modern science, few figures stand out like Nikola Tesla, a genius celebrated for his extraordinary intellect, yet destroyed by the very brilliance that defined him. His life was like a tragic film, the story of a young man who left his homeland to chase ideas far ahead of his time. He worked tirelessly, cared little for fame or fortune, and dedicated every breath to discovery. Yet his genius was often exploited, his vision misunderstood, and in the end, he died in poverty, solitude, and obscurity. Despite his final years fading into silence, Tesla left humanity an immeasurable legacy of scientific innovation. Early life: the child of light. On a stormy summer night in 1856, in a small village in what is now Croatia, a baby was born amid flashes of lightning. The midwife exclaimed, "This is a child of the storm." But her mother gently replied, "No, he will be a child of light." That simple exchange would prove prophetic. From an early age, Nikola Tesla showed exceptional intelligence. In his autobiography, My Inventions, he recalled how, as a boy, a stranger once gave coins to every child in the village except him, saying, "This boy is too clever to need money." A small anecdote perhaps, but one that hinted at the extraordinary mind to come. Tesla was born into a family of 5 siblings. His father, a strict Orthodox priest, was disciplined and scholarly, while his mother was a brilliant, inventive woman who could craft household tools by hand and memorize hundreds of poems. Tesla always believed his phenomenal memory and creative genius came from her. Student years: the dream of a scientist. During his school years, Tesla often amazed his teachers, solving complex calculus problems entirely in his head. To him, mathematics wasn't a burden, but a natural joy. He possessed an intense focus and a photographic memory that allowed him to visualize every detail of his work. He dreamed of becoming an engineer, but his father insisted he follow a religious path. Only after Tesla nearly died from cholera did his father finally relent, promising, "If you survive, I'll send you to study engineering." Tesla recovered, and that promise became the first turning point in his journey toward becoming one of the world's greatest inventors. The university years. In 1875, Tesla enrolled at the Austrian Polytechnic in Graz. In his first year, he was a model student, never missed a lecture, earned the highest marks, and was praised as a star of the class. He studied obsessively from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m., so intensely that professors wrote to his father warning that the young man might work himself to death. Beyond physics and engineering, Tesla studied literature, linguistics, and botany. He could speak 8 languages, recite poetry, and debate philosophy, earning admiration from peers and professors alike. However, in later years, conflicts with a professor and a growing gambling addiction derailed his studies. He lost his tuition money, then won it back, but the damage was done. Tesla dropped out, cut ties with his family, and began a wandering life of struggle. New beginnings, the meeting with Edison. In June 1884, Nikola Tesla arrived in New York City with nothing but 4 cents in his pocket, a letter of recommendation, a few poems, and sheer determination. The letter was from Charles Batchelor, a British engineer and close friend of Thomas Edison. It read simply, "I know of 2 great men. One is you, and the other is the bearer of this letter." Edison immediately hired Tesla at Edison Machine Works. Tesla's talent quickly impressed everyone, and Edison promised him $50,000 if he could redesign and improve the company's electrical generators. Tesla succeeded, but when he came to claim his reward, Edison laughed and said, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." Feeling betrayed, Tesla resigned. Yet he carried with him an unshakable conviction that alternating current AC, not Edison's direct current DC, was the true future of electricity. The War of Currents, Tesla versus Edison. After leaving Edison, Tesla met businessman Westinghouse, who immediately recognized the potential of AC and bought his patents. Thus began the legendary War of Currents. Edison, determined to crush AC, staged shocking public demonstrations, electrocuting animals, even an elephant, to portray Tesla's system as dangerous. But Tesla and Westinghouse stood firm. In 1893, their AC system lit up the entire Chicago World's Fair, dazzling millions and proving its superiority. 2 years later, the Niagara Falls Power Plant, the first large-scale hydroelectric project, began transmitting AC power over long distances. The victory was clear. AC became the global standard, and Tesla emerged as the true visionary of the electrical age. Genius and tragedy. Tesla held over 300 patents, including the induction motor, radio technology, and remote control, inventions that shaped the modern world. Yet many of his more daring ideas, such as a death ray or worldwide wireless power, were dismissed as madness. To realize his dream, Tesla built the Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, an enormous transmitter meant to send energy wirelessly across the globe. But the project collapsed under its own ambition. Costs spiraled out of control, investors withdrew, and Tesla lost everything. From then on, he lived in hardship, misunderstood by peers, and increasingly isolated from society. The final years, the silent light. In his later life, Tesla lived quietly in cheap New York hotels, surviving on small royalties and the kindness of a few loyal friends. He continued to study energy, radio waves, and peacekeeping weapons, but lacked the funds to finish his work. He never married and spent his days feeding and talking to kittens, his only companions. He once said, "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman." The more he dreamed, the lonelier he became. Tesla died in 1943, alone in his hotel room. He left behind more than 300 patents and countless notes, many seized by the government for their supposed links to advanced weaponry. Only decades later did the world begin to understand his brilliance. His name now graces the unit of magnetic flux density, the Tesla, and the electric car company Tesla Motors, both tributes to his enduring influence. Conclusion: the light that never dies. Nikola Tesla may have lived and died in solitude, but his legacy never faded. It took humanity generations to realize the true depth of his genius. Without him, without his wild ideas and fearless imagination, there would be no radar, Wi-Fi, radio, or wireless grids as we know them today. Though recognition came late, it is never too late to honor the man who gave the world light. Nikola Tesla, the lonely genius.